Hello everybody and welcome to another Jin Shin Jyutsu video, this time entitled Fatigue and Toxicity. Now, I have some very amazing things to share with you regarding fatigue and toxicity in Jin Shin Jyutsu and how it can help. First, let's talk about toxicity. Now, toxicity refers to what is created from taking of medication and drugs, antibiotics, anesthesia, vaccinations, scan contrast dyes. In truth, though our bodies are pretty amazing, that they possess great ability to clean out and keep ourselves in healthy order, the truth of the matter is the body is not really accustomed to processing a frequent overload of chemical substances which are toxic in this day and age. And because it's so overwhelming, it's often unable to clear out completely all these toxic substances on its own. Now, you may be thinking, we have a system in our bodies that cleans out toxic material. It's the lymphatic system, right? And this plays tremendously significantly in cleaning out toxins, bacteria, fighting infections, the clearing of the lymphatic fluid. But often the lymphatic system is very responsive to how we live our lives and our emotional state. And sometimes you have to consider the possibility that the lymphatic system can get weak. It can be weakened by stress, the absolute overload of the toxins in our system, and it's even weakened by our emotions and our stress. Basically, our unhappiness affects the lymph. Now, when there is accumulated toxicity built up, it starts affecting our free flow of our body's energy, vital energy. And this in turn indirectly affects our breath, our balance, our psychological balance, the yin and yang balance, and also our emotions. There is a hold that I would like to introduce you today that actually is so powerful for toxicity. In fact, it's more than powerful. It goes beyond toxicity, and I'd like to talk about this at the end of the video. But for now, let me introduce you to this hold. What you do is you take both your hands on your palms and you place them under your calves, facing up. So the concept is it's called palming the calves. And you hold for many minutes. It could be 3 to 5 minutes. Go ahead and hold it for 6, 8, 10 minutes. Go ahead and do it regularly, every day if you can. And you will start to see how different things change. Palming the calves. Let's call this hold palming the calves, where you place both your hands on your calves. You can do this while you're sitting on the floor, on a bed, whatever is comfortable. You can also ask a loved one to do it for you. Lie comfortably, it's the best, and that person will place their palms on your calves. Now, palming the calves will help to get anesthesia and vaccinations, scan and contrast dyes out of the body. Palming the calves cools the body after the effects of radiation. Radiation is part of medical treatment for cancer, but radiation can create a lot of heat in the body, and it actually burns. When you palm the calves, you actually help the body to recover more effectively from the effects of radiation. When you have a issue with bloating, gas, it's either gas accumulation or liquid bloat, palm the calves. It's really amazing. And palming the calves will help emotional balance, particularly sadness, loneliness, as well as fear. Amazing, isn't it? I'll come back to more about palming the calves at the end of this video. Let's go on to another kind of toxicity created by what we have to go through, and that is radiation. Now, radiation is actually present when we go through airport scanners, through our electronic devices, through Wi-Fi signals, X-rays. I'm told that MRI scanners don't have radiation, but CT scanners do. And if you're having a certain CT scan or what they call a PET scan, then you're often injected with a contrast dye. In the case of a CT scan, you are injected with a contrast dye. And in the case of a PET scan, I'm told that you are injected with a radioactive dye. The dye is so radioactive that the syringe that is used isn't a plastic transparent one. It's in a lead container. It's quite concerning, isn't it? I have a hold to suggest for you to alleviate the effects of radiation. And I would like to show it to you. You take the fingers of this hand and you place it on this half of the head, and you do the same with the other hand. And you hold for 5 to 10 minutes. This is easiest when you're lying down, about to sleep in bed. It's terrific. This hold, believe it or not, is going to strengthen your lymphatic flow so that you support your body to alleviate the effects of harmful radiation. The lymphatic system can also be strengthened if you do this. Take these fingers and you put it on under the opposite armpit. And you take these fingers and you put it on under the opposite armpit. And you have your thumbs resting gently on the front of the shoulder blade. And this is called giving yourself a hug in Jin Shin Jyutsu. And if you can do this daily, regularly, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you help the lymphatic system. You help the vascular system, which is the series of blood vessels. And it's really helpful. So far, palming the calves helps remove the toxic effects of vaccinations. And this helps remove the harmful effects of radiation. Let's talk about fatigue, shall we? Now, fatigue is no stranger to our modern lifestyle. You almost have to tell another person, I am exhausted, I'm tired. And we actually tend to think that it's very normal. It's actually not very normal. You see, fatigue is more than pure tiredness. Fatigue is more than just minor exhaustion. In fact, I'm going to say fatigue is not just 1 night or 2 nights of missed or insufficient sleep. Fatigue is actually an extended period of being in a constant state of stress over an extended period of time. Our body has a sympathetic system, parasympathetic system, and it has the ability to get us through stressful periods, what we call the fight-flight response. So when we have to get ready against a perceived danger, the level of stress and adrenaline goes up, but it's supposed to come down. But when there's too much stress bombarding us, then it goes up and it doesn't really come down. So what we're actually saying is we are in constant states of stress, constant fatigue. And this pushes us to stress all our endocrine glands, and especially the adrenal glands. And over an extended period of time, you get burnout. And you can have burnout whether you're a student, burnout whether you're a housewife. It does not matter. Modern living has become so stressful. And so constantly pushing ourselves to compete and perform at today's pace of life creates this stress and fatigue. Now, let me explain what happens to the body's energy when fatigue sets in. You see, when this fatigue gets into the circulation energy pattern of our organ function energies, the energy cannot flow freely. And the function of the limbs and the joints starts to deteriorate. The energy starts to stagnate, and then discomfort and pain set in. What happens to the organ energies that actually feed life and vitality to the body is they cannot clean. They cannot clean the energetic debris. What's energetic debris? It's created by stress hormones, emotions. You just cannot clean. And so it stops sending cleansed flows to the other parts of the body. I have two suggestions for helping this. The first one is actually for burnout. It's actually to help you to um, come back into a state of balance. And it's this. You take one hand, doesn't matter which one, and you place it on your forehead lightly. And the other one goes to the back of the neck. And it's easiest when you do this in bed. And it's very calming. Try it and see. You can switch hands and do this side. Okay. Now the other flow that you do is a series of 8 finger positions, and it's called the 8 mudras. A mudra is a hand position or a hand hold, and actually you'll have to check my channel for this. So if you look in my channel, there is another video that I did previously many months ago. It's called the 8 mudras. It explains how to do these 8 holds, and those 8 holds done regularly are going to help fatigue. You know, it's really a lifesaver that we have these simple holds. They may be simple, but don't underestimate them. They go a long way in helping us cope with the fast-paced lifestyle. I want to go back to the first hold that I explained, which is you take your hands and palm the calves. I explained that it is very good for vaccinations and toxicity. Excuse me. I am in awe of this flow or of this hold. I'd like to explain and like to share with you what else it's able to help with. So even if you are not undergoing a vaccination or medication or toxic substances, please do this flow. It's terrific for children, it's terrific for teenagers, it's terrific for adults, it's terrific for anybody. So what is this flow? Well, it's called palm the calves. You gently hold the meaty part of the calves like this with the whole open palms of the hands, and it's so powerful. First of all, one of the benefits is it helps to balance constipation and diarrhea. If you have one or the other, helps it do. Neither constipation nor diarrhea is reflecting a balance in the elimination system. So it's going to bring it back into balance. Now, I also want to say that diarrhea on a different level is also applicable here. It's not just physical bowel diarrhea, it's also verbal diarrhea. So you can do this as well. Anything that is to do with the rectal issues. So I'm talking about hemorrhoids and prolapsed rectum, uterus, and bladder areas. It's very good for the muscles and connective tissue. Helps these to relax. It helps gas and bloating. Anything to do with the skin. Scars, wrinkles, stretch marks, and cellulite. It helps the fascia, the fascial area, and it helps to drain the lymph. It actually prevents the accumulation of tumors. That's right. It prevents the body from accumulating the mass that eventually forms a tumor if you palm the calves regularly. It helps with throat swelling, helps to bring it down. It helps anything to do with flare-ups in the skin, rashes, stings, poison ivy, contact dermatitis, insect bites, eczema, psoriasis, teenage acne, anything to do with fungus, fungal infections, toenail fungus, and athlete's foot. If you've accidentally got a sunburn, this helps. If you're having psoriasis, hot flashes, it helps get us off the stage where out of the stage where we are just, so focused on getting things done that we are stressing ourselves out. Palming the calves, an extremely important thing to do when you're visiting a loved one in hospital who's just had a hysterectomy or abdominal surgery. It helps the healing. It pulls anesthesia and toxins and medication out of the body, and it helps the breath to function normally. Now, the amazing thing about palming the calves is it helps to bring down mercury poisoning. It eliminates the effects, the toxic effects of mercury poisoning, helps us detox from vaccinations so that they are less likely to stay in the body and allow the bodies to support it to clear and eliminate. It's also, as I said, very important for anyone undergoing radiation. Emotionally, palming the calves helps us clear deep sadness, regret, grief. It helps us to clear fear from the past that we have carried with us, anxiety from the future. It helps us to come back into the now. It's a great flow for getting in touch with ourselves and our personal evolution. Thank you very much for following this video, and please free to repeat this video anytime. And I hope that you will try the basic flows, the holds which have been suggested. So, palming the calves, and this, of course, the 8 mudras. This is another one that you can do as well. Thank you so much for listening, and until the next video. Thank you. Blessings.